And that is exactly where students get stuck.
Exactly. The difference is quite subtle.
But it's crucial for a natural conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. Today is a very special day for us. We have a new voice joining our table.
A new voice? I like the sound of that.
Please join me in welcoming Candy.
Hello, Ed. Hello, Eddy. It's wonderful to be here.
We are so happy to have you, Candy. And your arrival gives us the perfect topic. Today, we are going to talk about introductions. How to meet someone for the first time.
First impressions, a critical moment.
Exactly, Eddy. So for our lesson today, Candy and I will pretend we are meeting now. This will help our listeners practice.
I think that's a brilliant idea, Ed. Let's demonstrate how it's done.
Perfect, so I will start. Hi, Candy. It's a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine, Ed.
Now let's pause here for a moment. I use the word hi. It's simple, friendly, and very common.
That's a great point, and it's important. We have a few basic options for greetings. We can say hello, hi, or hey.
Could you explain the difference, Candy?
Of course, hello is the most neutral. You can use it in formal situations, like a job interview or with friends.
Hello, the safe choice. I like safe choices.
Hi is a little more informal. It's perfect for most daily situations, like meeting someone at a cafe.
Exactly. It's my most common greeting.
And then we have hey. Hey is the most casual of the three. It's best to use it with people you know.
Right, using hey with a stranger might sound a little too informal.
So many rules for just one word.
This is a great start. So, after the greeting, we usually ask a question. For example, how are you?
Yes, and this is another area with options. You can say, how are you? Or more informally, how's it going?
And for a very casual situation, you might hear what's up.
The answers to these are also different. For how are you, you can say, I'm doing well, thank you.
For how's it going? A natural reply is, it's going well, thanks.
And what about what's up, Ed? That one can be tricky for students.
It can. A very common response is, not much, what's up with you?
Interesting. So, what's up is not a real question. It's like a different kind of hello.
That is a perfect summary, Eddy. It often functions as a simple greeting.
Okay, so we have covered the first few seconds. The initial greeting.
But what happens next, Ed? This is where many conversations can stop.
That's a very important point. After you say hello and ask how are you, you need to keep the conversation going.
The dreaded silence? I know it well.
To avoid that silence, we ask questions. This shows you are interested in the other person.
Exactly. We call these follow-up questions. A very common one is about work.
Right, so continuing our role play. So Candy, what do you do?
I'm a language specialist. I help people understand English structure.
That's a perfect example of a good answer. Now let's analyze the question I asked. I said, what do you do?
This is the most common and natural way to ask about someone's profession. Notice the structure. What do you do?
What do I do? I nap. I observe. I sigh. It's a full-time job.
Another great question is about location. For example, where are you from, Candy?
I'm originally from the East Coast.
And there we have another excellent question.
Yes. Where are you from? Pay attention to the preposition from, which comes at the end of the sentence.
This is a common point of confusion. Students sometimes say from where you are.
Correct. The natural structure is where plus the verb to be, then the subject, and then from.
Structure? It seems everything has a hidden map.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Eddy. A third useful question depends on the context. You can ask, what brings you here today?
This is a very polite and versatile question. It asks for the person's reason for being at that specific place or event.
If I asked you that, what would you say?
I would say, I'm here to join the podcast.
Perfect. Now, the key to all these questions is that they are open questions.
Could you explain what that means?
An open question needs a real answer. Not just a yes or no.
That's the secret to a good conversation. Questions that begin with what, where, when, why, or how.
They invite the other person to share more.
So, it's not just about talking, it's about listening.
You've captured the soul of it, Eddy.
That is the foundation of real communication.
Okay, so asking good open questions is the foundation.
But a great conversation is also about how you react to the answers.
Yes, this is what we call active listening. You need to show the other person that you are paying attention.
One simple way to do this is by using short reaction phrases.
For example, phrases like, "Oh, really? That's interesting." Or "Tell me more."
Little signals that you are still awake. I see.
He's not wrong. These phrases are signals. They encourage the other person to continue.
And this brings us perfectly to a special part of our lesson today. It's time for our double tip segment. I will share a tip for natural fluency, and Candy will share a tip for structure. My tip is about intonation. When you use a reaction phrase, Your tone of voice is everything. Listen to the difference. Flat tone. That's interesting. Engaged tone. That's interesting. The second one invites more conversation.
A wonderful tip. Now for the structure. My tip is to use tag questions. These are short questions we add to the end of a statement. For example, it's a nice day, isn't it? The "isn't it" is the tag question.
And why are they so useful, Candy?
Because they turn a simple statement into an invitation for agreement. It keeps the conversation flowing smoothly.
A little hook at the end of the sentence. Clever.
Great tips. Now, just as important is knowing what not to do. So it is time for our common mistake analysis. The biggest mistake is the conversation killer. It happens when you don't return the ball.
Let's demonstrate. Ed, ask me a question.
Okay, so Candy, are you a busy person?
Yes.
See? The conversation stopped. There is nowhere for me to go.
My one-word answer killed the conversation. Now, let's try again the correct way.
So Candy, are you a busy person?
Yes, I usually have a lot on my plate. How about you, Ed?
Much better. You answered, gave more detail, and then you passed the conversation back to me.
That final part is the most important. Always try to ask a question back.
Ah, the conversational boomerang. You must throw it back.
I love that metaphor, Eddie. Always throw the boomerang back. So we've learned how to start a conversation and how to keep it going.
But there's one final crucial skill. How to end the conversation politely.
Yes, the graceful exit. It's just as important as the first hello.
My favorite part, the prelude to a good nap.
He has a point. It signals the end. But you want to do it without being rude.
A great way to start is with a positive summary. Let's go back to our role play. Well, Candy, it was great talking to you.
That phrase, "It was great talking to you," is a clear and polite signal.
After that, you can give a reason. For example, I should get going. Or, I have to run to a meeting.
The structure is simple. Positive summary, followed by a reason for leaving.
A reason. I must return to my duties. The duty of napping.
Finally, it's nice to mention the future. You can say, let's catch up again soon.
Or more formally, I hope we can talk again.
So the full sequence would sound like this. Well, Candy, it was a pleasure to meet you. I should get back to my work now. But let's talk again soon.
That sounds perfect, Ed. You too.
And that's it. A simple, polite, graceful exit.
Now that we have all the pieces, I think it's time to practice.
I agree. It is now time for the practical challenge. We are going to give you, our listener, a situation, we want you to respond.
Here is the scenario. Imagine you are at a cafe. You start a conversation with a stranger.
The stranger says this to you. This is my favorite cafe. The coffee is great.
Your challenge is to respond to this sentence. Remember what we learned. Acknowledge. Add information and ask a question back.
We will give you a moment of silence to think. Ready? Here's the sentence again. This is my favorite cafe. The coffee is great.
Okay, are you ready for some good answers?
A simple good answer could be, I agree, it's delicious. Is this your first time here?
Let's analyze that. It's excellent. You agree. I agree. You add detail. It's delicious. And you ask a question back.
Another great option could be, oh, I haven't tried the coffee yet. What do you recommend?
This one is fantastic for fluency. It shows you listened and asks for advice.
Any answer that leads to a cookie recommendation is a good answer.
Well said, Eddie. The goal is connection. Excellent practice, everyone. And that brings us to the end of our lesson.
We've covered the full cycle of a conversation. From the first hello
To asking good follow-up questions,
to keeping it alive with active listening.
and finally making a graceful exit. And with that, our role play is officially over. Candy, it is so good to have you with us.
Thank you, Ed. It's truly a pleasure. I'm very excited for our future lessons together.
As are we. And to close our episode, it's time for a final piece of wisdom. It's time for Eddy's insight.
A good first impression is not about saying the perfect words. It is about showing you are willing to listen. That is a language everyone understands.
Wise words as always, Eddy.
Beautifully said.
And if you enjoyed this lesson with us today, please consider giving this video a like.
It really helps the channel. And subscribe so you don't miss our next lesson together.
We also love reading your comments. For today's comment, tell us one new phrase you learned.
We look forward to reading your answers.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Until next time, keep practicing.
Bye for now.